guys, welcome back to the channel for another car review. Today we've got an interesting one. As you guys saw in the glamour shots, big turbo, methanol injected Volvo S60R, and this is Trenton, the owner of the car. So yeah, tell us about the car. Tell us what all you've got going on under the hood, and what made you want the car.
Yeah, well, it's an 04 S60R. I got into Volvo because I used to live in Sweden. I have a 240 as well. It doesn't run, but you know, it's got a big turbo, hybrid turbo, meth injection, stage 3 Hilton tune, big injectors. I don't know, just lots of small things.
Yeah. Do you know how much power the car makes?
I have not taken it to a dyno, but I would imagine around 400 crank.
About 400 crank.
Yeah.
And S60Rs are just one of the cars that from Europe that are just so slept on. You know, when you think of European cars, you think M3, S4, you think of what other like big name Euro cars are out there, GTIs.
Yeah.
Usually Volvo kind of gets slept on, but Volvo really had what was going on during the time period with that car. I mean, what was it, 2.5 5-cylinder turbo, all-wheel drive. And this one is a stick shift, which is apparently starting to become rare with S60Rs.
66 there, getting harder to find. But yeah, Volvo made this to compete with BMW and Audi's S4 and all that. So it was a pretty decently powerful car from Volvo.
Yeah. And Volvo, like I was just saying, most slept on car from Europe. It's just, they have so many good performance platforms that just go completely unnoticed. And it's really unfortunate because like this car right here, absurdly fast, absurdly powerful, and absurdly fun. I've known Trenton for a long while now. He actually dates my sister. So I've gotten to see where this car came from, where his 240 came from, as well as he's going to be doing a street truck build soon. He also has an F-150 the guys have probably seen in the background of videos before. So he's working on doing that street truck build as well to join me and all the fun on that. Eventually. But of course, this car is our main focus today, and we're about to go for a ride, have some fun. The roads are wet. I mean, it has been raining nonstop. We had to wait like 30 minutes to get a break just so we could film all this. And this is actually the same place I've recorded 2 videos on the Taurus, the first S2000 review, as well as the G37. All of that has been filmed here, but we wanted to change the location up and go to a spot that's a bit more scenic for this one. But I think all the talking out of the way, I think we should go for a ride. Let's go check it out. Let's go for a quick spin. All right, guys, now we are in the S60R, leaving the park. It has already started pouring again, though. Thankfully, though, we're in all-wheel drive. So I think if there were any car we were going to be in that would be sketch in the rain, it would not be this one. So yeah, power plants, really well known in these cars. 2.5 turbo, 5-cylinder, one of the best sounding engines on earth. What's funny though is I've noticed this. Audi and Volkswagen Group 5-cylinders sound more like Audi R8s, while the Volvo 5-cylinders sound very similar to Vipers.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever even heard of a Viper.
It's just like that very low baritone kind of sound.
Yeah. And
I think it has something to do with the firing order or like the way the coils are done on those cars. Like I know the Audi ones is pretty much just a smaller version of the R8. Of course, RS3 can't go wrong with that. This car it pretty much reminds me a lot of the RS3 if it were older and more Swedish, because it's just all-wheel drive, 5-cylinder power. Of course, not having the dual clutch, but I mean, 6-speed fun box. I think I'd rather have that than a dual clutch sometimes.
Can't even hear it now with the rain.
Yeah, the rain's so bad. The bright side of the camera still here, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, this car is pretty awesome, and it's one of Europe's hidden gems. European cars they've been all over my mind recently. I was very close to getting a Mark 6 GTI to replace the Sport Track, and it'd be fun to have, but yeah, European cars, that's where it's at. Japanese and European cars, that's been like my big thing. Ever since I was younger, I just happen to own an American car. I've always said my next car will probably be either a GTI or some sort of BMW platform. Or if I can find a C30 T5. I really like the C30. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because it's just a Focus RS. Before the Focus RS was legal here. Yeah, well, that generation still isn't, but... Yeah, the weather has been so unpredictable here recently. Like, it was said it was not going to rain.
Oh, nice
like
headlights.
a week. Yeah, nice Mercedes. Oh, there they are. But the weather's been like, it was forecast to be perfectly fine today. Then all of a sudden it's downpouring outside. Like I said though, if there's one car that I'm not scared of in the rain, it's this one. So of course, don't expect any crazy pulls because it's wet out. We aren't trying to die. It's the first time I've actually done a car review in the rain, which is, that's new. Yeah, these cars are just so awesome.
Horrible.
Huh?
This is horrible.
I know. What's really annoying is we've been watching the radar throughout this entire time, and the radar said it wouldn't last very long. Yet it has been downpouring for like an hour now, and the radar says it's supposed to be clear right here. Weather Channel and AccuWeather both dropping the ball. But yeah, these cars are just so fun. The interior is really nice too. So of course, like we were saying earlier, this car is on methanol. So we do have like a methanol gauge right down here, and the methanol light, all that stuff. The methanol controller on the dash.
Yeah.
Boost gauge, AFRs, all that good stuff. I mean, having a big turbo, you're gonna need all that. Especially if you're running methanol. Yeah. These cars have a lot of, have a really bad tendency to blow the cylinder walls apart at about 13 pounds of boost or so. So having all the methanol and all the cooling upgrades this car has, because I believe it also has an intercooler as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got a big intercooler up front. It's really pre-detonations that'll like really kill these blocks, because they basically just took the smaller the smaller 5-cylinder blocks and just bored them out. That's like all they did.
Yeah. So. This is a different motor than the T5 with that 2.5.
Yeah.
And this car, pretty much the only thing left of it that is stock is that block. Because it's also on coilovers, right? It's got
it's on coilovers, which
BCs.
Some people are like super in love with like the 4C suspension, the active chassis that these cars came with. But for the sake of not having to spend a ridiculous amount of money to upkeep them, I think the coilovers are worth it.
Oh yeah, and it rides well, and it has a really nice stance to it. It doesn't sit very high. It's not dirt nasty low. So one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is the mileage on this car, which is a very interesting one. How much miles does the body have?
The body has 211,000 right now, and the engine, I believe, it's at about 130,000 at this point. One of the previous owners took a new used engine and put it in here.
Yeah.
So all right, I ain't doing that. Well, maybe I can. Well, maybe it's probably going to be a mistake. This car.
No scrapes though.
Yeah. Did okay.
Of course, that turbo is just so loud and it sounds so good. And this is with the valves closed, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got there's an exhaust cut out on here.
Yeah.
So it can be loud when I want it to.
Oh yeah, and when this thing is opened up, turbo whistle, absurd. It is probably one of the loudest turbo whistles I've heard on any car.
I've had multiple people ask if there was a power stroke in here.
It sounds like one.
Yeah.
Like when you got it idling with the cutout open up, but the valves open, it sounds like you're running a diesel.
Yeah.
And I still remember he came and picked me up from work one day with that valve opened up, and it was just ridiculously awesome sounding going down the road. Because all you heard was turbo noise. And maybe if we're lucky, I can get a couple shots of it with the valve opened up, a couple little revs.
I have to ring somewhere down.
Yeah. He goes to the meets out here.
Does it?
Yeah. That sound is just... Nothing beats a 5-cylinder. Like, that sound is just incredible. 5 cylinders just have the best way of composing themselves. And the best part is they can be used in more platforms than an inline 6 because they're more compact. It's why, you know, the Jetta came with one for a while. It was very slow, but it was really cool. That was a cool car. The Audi RS3, you know, the A3 is a very small car. It's not much bigger than a standard Golf. And I think because they're on the same chassis. And that comes with a 5-cylinder of its own.
I looked at A3s once.
I like A3s. I'd rock one. Like the new A3.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it doesn't even need to be an S3. You can get an A3 with the 2-liter in the Quattro. Just like an all-wheel drive GTI. And they're not terribly expensive. But I think I really want like a 335 or a 435 or something like that for my next car. I need M2s and M4s to drop in price. I'd be all over those.
I always forget where this place is. Is it here?
Yeah, I think it's over here.
Is this Seaboard Drive?
I feel like they got that office on purpose for that. We are actually about to be in the same shopping center as ABW Off-Road, which is a pretty local shop for us. If you're into the off-road stuff, like I know a lot of people who watch my channel are. We need more tuning shops out here, though, for people like us. Like, I can only name one, and they do mostly domestics. I think they only do domestic. I don't think they touch any foreign cars.
There's not much in the line of European car stuff around here.
Oh, actually, now that I say about it, there is an APR tuner right across the street from that shop, where my truck was.
Interesting.
There's like all the beat up stuff. We had to run an errand, so now we're back in here. Apologies for the cut, but yeah, this car is just something else. I've ridden in a lot of cars recently, but none have like just the experience that you get in this car. Like, you know, it's European refinement, and probably one of the most refined companies to come out of Europe in Volvo. I mean, Volvo has a history, has a reputation, a good reputation for a reason. And this car is just, it lives up to that reputation. It's very refined, very well built, very just fun. And this is the fastest car you've ever owned too. Because the 240, what is in that one?
The stock engine.
Yeah, I don't even know what
really
motor
slow.
is.
It's just the normal 4-cylinder red block.
Oh.
Non-turbo. I mean, of course, I want to put a turbo on there at some point, but
I'm trying to give it some good LS.
Like I said, it's misfiring really bad right now, so I don't know. I need to fix it first. But yeah, I think it does 0 to 60 in like 15 seconds.
Just 0 to 60, yes.
Yes, at some point. Maybe. Actually, it probably won't do 0 to 60 right now. So
I'm trying to convince him to go LS with that car, or do like 2J or something like that.
I need money. Send me money.
Just put your Venmo on screen. Everyone starts sending you money.
Please fund this LS swap. Fund an LS swap near you.
I sent him all of like Gingium's LS Swap 240, his build, because that car is scary. Like, I don't know how he managed to put drag radials on that car, but his 240 will be like that too. Unfortunately, his isn't the wagon, which I know you wanted.
I really just wanted a manual. I mean, I like both the wagon and the sedan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. As I've had it more and more, I really kind of want the wagon. Just to have a wagon.
Wagons are sick though, not even gonna lie. Little mustache there. He don't wanna. This car is just something else. It's just European refinement at its best. And I mean, nothing can top a Volvo in safety. Like, you know, this is one of those cars where if you're a teenager and your parents aren't car people, you can just be like, yeah, it's a Volvo.
Yeah.
It's safe. They're like, oh yeah, sure. And little they know they've created a monster.
Well, it's a Volvo. It's a grandpa car. He'll be fine.
And then also you get choo-choo noises and a giant 5-cylinder growl. I can definitely see how these cars were right on the door with like S4s and M3s of the era.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the E46 alone, I think, made less horsepower than this does. And the only advantage you would have to getting an E46 M3 over this is, one, having that badge, and two, just having something that's high revving. So this red line's at like what, 6-something? Like 68, I think you said?
Yeah, something like that.
Speaking of A3s, they're good looking cars. I like those little things. That is a 2.0 too. The S badge on the side.
There's a, looks like Wheelwell's car.
It does look identical to her car. There's a blue.
Minus the front license plate bracket thing.
Yeah.
I keep telling her she needs to put something there.
I'm taking mine off.
Well, either that or put something there.
Yeah. But just Volvo S60R is just one of those cars you can just be like, yeah, it's a Volvo, it'll be safe and fun, and I won't, if something happens, it won't be bad. And then it's like, I've created a monster. All-wheel drive, stick shift, 5-cylinder glory. I really wish the weather was behaving, have a bit more fun with it, but oh my goodness, pop.
It does when it feels like it. Sometimes it does a lot, sometimes it doesn't.
When you had the valve open that one day, it was just pop after pop, and it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
My friend with the Mazda, he actually got his car set up for flat foot shifting, and it goes a gunshot every time he shifts now. Which is interesting how quiet his car is. I don't know if you've ever seen his Mazda.
No, I don't think I have.
It's silent. Like you can barely hear it.
CTS with some interesting rims.
Yeah, not my first choice of wheels for a CTS. Usually, I only really like CTSs with like BC forged or like welds. There's no in between. Of course, this is on the stock Volvo wheels, isn't it? Or
No,
just the variation?
these are NK.
NK.
I forget what they're freaking called. But no, these cars came stock with those Pegasus wheels that everybody loves.
Yeah, because those are the ones you're looking to get for the 240.
Yeah, I want to get some for the 240. I don't have the stock wheels for this car. These were on here when I bought it, so.
Yeah. This car is just great though. Like honestly, I feel like if you're gonna be if you're cross shopping for like a B5 S4 and an E46 M3, this needs to be in that running too, because it's a car that's just as capable as both those cars, if not more capable in terms of horsepower than at least the E46. Because you know those things have rod bearing troubles with the moon. And everyone wonders why everyone 2J swaps E46s. Not to say that the engines are bad. Like the S54 is a great engine in the E46, but I don't know. You compare a naturally aspirated inline 6 to turbo 5-cylinder, changes the game up a little bit. This car just sounds insane though. But anyway, guys, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't suppose so.
Go follow his Instagram, that _ S60R. Also his TikTok, same thing. That _
No, my TikTok is my personal TikTok. It's Trenton 2000.
Yeah, go check that out. And with all that said, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you're a feature, leave a like, subscribe, more content coming soon. He's starting up a YouTube channel soon, so I'm going to leave it in the description. You guys can go subscribe to it and go check out his car and watch his stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys.